Pretty much, we did pretty much get down to a whole page. We really did. But what was good about playing Doom 2016 is it's given me a chance to do a direct comparison between that game and this one, even though I had already previously completed Doom 2016 multiple times. The excitement was real when they announced Doom Eternal being a thing, and I was like, I can't wait to jump on this game and absolutely destroy it. So, Doom Eternal on the Xbox One X, full analysis, breakdown, review, including scoring. This is going to be edited. Well, no, it's ain't going to be edited. This is going to be just cut out of this video and then uploaded to YouTube, so you guys can watch this review at any time, whenever you want to, and however you want to. The game itself is around a 35 to 40 gig file overall. They say on the back of the case, please reserve 50 gig for your hard drive. The digital pricing for the standard edition is $54.99. The digital deluxe edition is a whopping $79.99, and I paid for my copy $37.86. So there is a huge price jump. 3 times across the physical copy, which is what I got for £38, which then jumps to £55 if you want the standard edition. That's a monstrous jump. That really is. If you can't see that being a monstrous jump, then my goodness. And then an £80 for the digital deluxe edition of the game itself. The game has 2 modes. You've got the main campaign story mode, and then you have a 2v1 battle mode. And that's all there is available at the moment for launching of the game itself. It took me 21 hours to do a full playthrough of the story campaign from start to finish. And I was pretty hardcore in depth. And I was looking for every single collectible, every single vinyl music, all the little pop vinyl figurines, the documentations, which gives you a little bit more lore background on the game itself. And I was quite thorough. I really, really, really was. I was actually pretty excited to get the game done and move straight into multiplayer, to find that they only had the 2v1 skirmish, where it's 1 Slayer versus 2 Demon mode only, and comparing that to what they had in Doom 2016, where they've got the Team Deathmatch, Clan Arena, Soul Harvest, Freeze Tag, and Domination, it seems pretty bloody weak. Honestly, it does. But we'll start off with the same breakdown analysis that we do in every other review. Let me just quickly load up the review template that we use. Review note. Oh, that's my review notes from the from last year's reviews. Completed reviews. Where is my review template? There it is. Boom. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to look at, which to me is probably one of the most important things to look at in a review, is the choice of music used, the soundtrack, and the audio effects within the game itself. Now, the soundtrack that they used for the 2016 Doom was absolutely phenomenal. It was so well done. And I've got to say the same for this. The music in this game is spine-tinglingly amazing. It is epic in a lot of the scenes that you're in. Some of the cutscenes that you're in as well. But during the carnage and the gore fest of the gameplay, the soundtrack is 100% spot on. So I cannot in any way deduct any points off of it. Some of the fights in the game later on get very, very, very long. And having some of that music keeping you going and pumping you up for the combat is absolutely perfect. So I can't fault them in any way. I think the soundtrack to this game is spot on. It works extremely well, and I was 100% happy with it. In terms of the audio effects and the voice acting, can't fault it whatsoever at all. I mean, Vega sounds like Vega from the 2016 Doom. And other than that, I'm not going to spoil anything more, but the other voice actors that are playing the roles of some of the characters that are showcased in the game, all spot on. And even Doom himself now has a voice. And that's pretty cool. You know, some people did like the fact that he started to speak, while other people that I know preferred him to be completely quiet, and preferred him to be mainly just a mute. It's the same with these images. A lot of people that I know don't like the fact that they've revealed a partial facial part of his face. You can actually see him. Some people again wanted it to be more of a mystery, but you know, that's all personal preference at the end of the day. But in terms of the audio effects, spot on, 100%. The gun sounds fantastic. The alert noises that happen in the game and the goriness, the juicy sounds as well, all absolutely spot on. So I'm going to push that aside because I can't talk negatively about any of that at the moment. Graphics, texturing, weather effects. Now, in terms of the graphics, you can see a vast improvement from the 2016 Doom to this one. The enemies look far better designed than they ever have done. You can even go into 3D modeling with the enemies. Once you've found their toy, basically their little pop vinyl toy, you can press A over the toy on your ship, and you can then see a 3D model design of the actual enemy itself, and you can go into full-on detail mode. So if you're a drawer and you really want to, you know, start drawing some Doom things, this game would really help you with that. I can't fault the graphics in any way. There was never any texture glitches. There were never any terrain detailing missing whatsoever, or any loading difficulties with the graphics. It just looked absolutely spot on. In terms of weather effects, you do get a lot of storms in a game like this, because obviously sometimes you're on Mars, sometimes you're on Earth, and the game itself did a great job showcasing the scenery, the smoggy fog effect, or the lightning strikes that were going on, but everything looked really, really, really well done, even down to the character models as well. For your character, there are different armor sets that you can see your character in, all been nicely designed, and it works quite well for the game. So I can't in any way fault the game for how it looks and how it sounds at present. Glitches and bugs, there was a few small issues. We had a few NPCs getting stuck in the terrain. We also had some invisible walls every now and again, where the game wouldn't allow you to go to certain places even though you could easily reach them. Not too much a fan of stuff like that, especially when it's a big environment. You should kind of give, you know, the player the free roam aspect of it. But it was a way of tunnel vision the player to stop them from going off course too much. You could reach all the collectibles in the game on your very first run through. You know, you didn't have to load back with super abilities that you didn't have. You can double jump, you can air dash and stuff like that, and you could always reach the collectible. So I can't really fault it, but there are a few little glitches that they do need to iron out. Gameplay and mechanics, I mean, this game is carnage. This game is utter carnage from start to finish. But I do have to be honest, a lot of the areas, the carnage goes on for a very, very, very long time. And I'm not talking 5-10 minutes, I'm talking 15, 20, maybe 25 minutes in one small area, because the game wants to chuck demons at you all over the place, even though that in pretty much every level there's an arena to do which does the same thing. So gameplay itself, yes, you get that beautiful carnage in this game, and even better, you see the destruction in the enemies, where you shoot off their muscles and their skulls and their body bits, and you can actually see the body's wear and tear with the destruction that you cause. And this is way more advanced than the 2016 Doom by a long mile. The gore festing in this game, and the insta kills that you can do. You can see the nerves, you can see the spine, you can see everything, and it's just so freaking well done. But there is a little bit too much thrown at you in a lot of the game. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't mind the carnage. I had a ton of fun playing this game. But you'll go to one section and get hit with 15 to 20 minutes worth of monsters, and then go through a corridor and then get hit with another massive barrage of monsters. To the point where some of the monsters are trying to squeeze through certain things they can't squeeze through, and they're all knocking each other and they're getting in each other's way. I just felt like the game threw an over-the-top amount of demons at you. I played it on normal mode, and it was just carnage after carnage after carnage after carnage, with not a lot of breathing space. And some people are going to like that. I found that the 2016 Doom had a healthy balance of that. And in this game, once you get to about 80% in, you start to see a barrage of enemies thrown at you way too much. And it gets a bit skanky sometimes because their aggression level is like 1,000%. They spawn in and they immediately hone in on you and push you into a corner, and you can get stuck in corners with so many demons around you, all pushing you and whacking you and blasting you all at once. You'll lose a lot of your lives very, very, very quickly in this game. Very, very, very quickly. And then it will start to get a little bit annoying because their behavior, the mechanics behind the demons in this game was different to how I felt in the 2016. Most of the demons in 2016 stayed back, played it defensively, throwing fireballs and attacks at you from range. Where in this game, they all want to be in your face direct. They just want to be there. And it doesn't really go so well in some areas of the game because you're just trying to navigate through thin corridors and the enemies are just squeezing you into a corner and bombarding you. I don't know if they changed that mechanic with easy mode, hard mode, extra hard mode and stuff like that, but I just felt it was a bit overwhelming in normal mode alone. Replayability and game difficulty. Now, the replayability is definitely there with this game. You've got the collectibles, you've got vinyls to pick up, as I said. You've got pop figurines, you've got documentation, you've got predator tokens for your armor, you've got the crystals to give you permanent buffs. There is a lot to collect. But as I said earlier on, I managed to do about 98% of the game perfectly until we got to the end 2 missions where I didn't do 2 small challenges. I found every single collectible. The game made it quite easy to find. I would highly recommend unlocking the treasure perks first so you know where the hidden items are so you can hunt them down right off the get-go. But the replayability is definitely there, especially if you are a achievement hunter and you want to go back and do the rest of the small knickknacks just so you can get the rest of the achievements in the game. We've already kind of talked about the game difficulty itself, but to go a little bit further in depth, there are some enemies in this game that are incredibly overpowering, to the point where they're like little mini bosses. And the problem I find with those enemies is they're spawned in around all the other enemies that are spawned in as well. So not only do you have to take care of the little mini bosses that they chuck at you, like the marauders, for example, you've got to take care of every other demon at the exact same time. And again, that's just overwhelming at times. You'll play this yourself, and you will find that you're going to get bombarded, and then all of a sudden a marauder will come into the game and then just completely wipe you out. They have shields, they have guns, they have ranged, close, far distance attacks, close range attacks, and they also have a summoning spirit that can chase you around the game as well. They just have way too much to be classed as an enemy. They should be a mini-boss, in my opinion, and then they should be spawned in on their own so you can fight one-on-one. But that is just my opinion. Any game customization and stats building, this game has a lot of stats building. Like I said, you can upgrade your suit, you can upgrade your health, your ammo capacity, your armor capacity. You can upgrade your weapon abilities. You can even modify the weapons as well. There is so much to do in this game. And if you're familiar with the 2016 Doom, you kind of know what you're going to get yourself involved with. So you know what to expect. Story. Now this is where I'll be honest, I was slightly disappointed. To me, this felt, after completing this game, to me, it felt like a direct expansion of the 2016 Doom story, where it basically continues forward. What I wanted this is just a personal opinion, I wanted Doom Eternal to go a little bit more in depth to showcase visually the story of the Doom guy. I'm not talking about the notes. I'm not talking about anything that you have to read. I actually wanted to see cutscenes. And in this game, you do get some flashbacks of when the Doom guy made an appearance in their world. But I wanted a lot more. I wanted to know who he was, where he came from, what was his purpose, what was he trying to achieve. And if they stuff all that stuff into documentation that you have to read, that there, in my opinion, is a massive missed opportunity. Because not a lot of people like to sit there and read documents. People like to actually be shown what's happening, because you can absorb a lot more information in a video than you can do in a text file. So in my opinion, I felt that the game could have done a hell of a lot better to visually show us through cinematics or flashbacks a lot more about who the Doom guy is and a lot more about his past and what he's trying to do. That, in my opinion, would have made this game far, far, far better than what it is right now. Because you're giving people a lot more detailing on the key aspect of Doom. And I feel that could have gone a long way. But again, my opinion. That's all. Nothing more. Online co-op modes, features, and stability. I will start off with features and stability. This game didn't crash once throughout the entire playthrough. There was only minor frame droppage every now and again while a lot of carnage was going on. But other than that, this game operated at a very smooth frame rate. And like I said, there were no freezes. There were no kicking to dashboards when the game completely shuts itself down. I had none of that. But in terms of online modes and co-op, the only mode that is available as of now, the launch period, is basically battle mode, and it is a 1v2 skirmish to the death. So Slayer versus 2 demons, and the players that are controlling the demons has a choice of different demons to play through with different abilities. I gave it a go. Didn't really enjoy myself that much with it. Some demons have very OP abilities, and it's a 2v1 scenario. And not only that, the enemies can also spawn in other demons too. So not only have you got 2 players to fight, but you've got to fight all the other demons as well that get spawned in. And I kind of feel it's more pushed in favor of the demons at the moment. That's just my opinion. Especially when you kill one of the demon players, if you don't kill the other one quick enough, the other player gets respawned back in again. So it's a shame that that Doom Eternal does not have other online modes to play right off the get-go. I was looking for a team deathmatch. I was looking for some sort of capture the flag or even a domination. That would have been really, really, really cool. So for now, the online multiplayer modes for this game in comparison to the 2016 Doom game is very weak. There is a lot more that you can do in the other game that you just cannot do online with this game. Purchase price versus digital pricing and value of content. So am I happy with buying this game at £38 because that was the price that I paid for it? More than happy. More than happy. The digital pricing for this game is $54.99. Do I feel the value of content is there? My honest answer to that is no. I feel £55 for this game, digital, for a standard edition, is ridiculous. It's just way too high. Way too high. $39.99 at best. At best. If you want to push your luck, $42.99 for the standard edition. £55 for the standard edition of this game is disgusting. That's way too high. And then they're asking $79.99 or £80 for the digital deluxe. 80 quid? That's insane. These prices are way too high. You got to think about the average gamer, and the average gamer can't splash out on that sort of pricing with these games. In my opinion, this is just, remember, this is all just my opinion. $39.99 or $42.99 for the standard edition of the game as a digital price point, in my opinion, is fair. In my opinion, is completely fair. Microtransactions and DLC. Now, there isn't any, pay to win rubbish. There's no microtransactions when they get, oh, would you like your Doomslayer to be even stronger by this 24-hour demonic buff that grants you super strength and super speed? There's none of that crap. There's none of that rubbish. So do not worry. You can play through the story as it's meant to be without any, additional buffs or any of that crap, having to fork out even more money. I'm just waiting for the store to load up the game so I can just double check to see if they've loaded anything else. It's all going so well when it's all live. Quit you and go to store. But ultimately, though, I felt they could have done a hell of a lot better with the multiplayer and co-op aspect of this game. They could have easily added, like I said, a team deathmatch scenario, or capture the flag, or domination. Doom 16 also has Soul Harvest and Freeze Tag. I don't think I ever played those, to be fair. I really don't. I know I played a little bit of the Doom multiplayer 2016, but I didn't play it that much. Going through the notes, the very first thing that I noticed is there's no handgun in this game. And I like my handguns, I'm not going to lie. I didn't like the handgun that was in the last game, though. That gun was a bit pants, to be fair. Its animation didn't match its fire rate as well. It was very, very, very buggy, and I just didn't like it. I also made a note that invisible wall bug. We had a visible wall bug in the ship. When we unlocked the doors, done a story mission, and then came back, the doors were down, but the character would not progress through the wall. It was like the door was still up, and I had to close the game down and reload it in order to get that bug to go away. Again, I'm pretty sure that could be easily fixed. My God, the store isn't even bloody loading. This is ridiculous. I'm sure that can be easily fixed with just a simple update. I do like the feature that before the end of the level, it gives you the ability to warp to certain points in the game. So if you are missing a collectible, you can warp back and quickly pick up the collectibles that you had missed before ending that level. I really, really, really like that feature. Really, really do. Because that actually saved me a shitload of time. I was able to go back to certain points of the level, and I was able to pick up anything that I had missed on the map before closing that level down. Missed opportunity when controlling certain weaponry. I don't want to spoil it, but you'll get to a point in the game where you get to control some awesome stuff, but it's all done by cutscenes, and it's not actually done by a character choice, and I feel there's a missed opportunity right there, because it would have been amazing to be the Doom guy on the end of a massive turret. I'm just saying. And then just murdering loads of demons. That would have been absolutely epic. But this game, unfortunately, doesn't, it does it in a cutscene. and that kind of sucks. It kind of sucks, because I got excited when I saw it. I was like, oh, please let me control this. And it was a cutscene. I was like, oh, really? Really? Oh, God. Just seeing what Doom Deluxe Edition actually gives you for $79.99. I'm just hoping that the store loads. And at the moment, it is really not doing that. Again, it's just a blank screen, see? It's not loading anything up at all. It won't even let me do anything. GG, Microsoft. Buff totems should be for hard mode onwards. I don't know why they thought it was a great idea, but in no, the store's not even loading. The store's gone down. Thanks, game. There are totems that basically buff the demons, giving them haste. And when the demons are overwhelming you as it is, the last thing you need is for them to overwhelm you even faster. I think they should save those totems for hard mode and above. Having them in normal mode just makes it so crazy. It really, really, really does. But again, that's just my opinion. I found that the parkouring or the jump climbing and the pole jumping and all that crap, I think is overdone in this game. To the point where it just gets a little bit boring. It really does. They didn't have any of that stuff in the 2016 Doom, so this is a brand new thing that they brought to this game specifically. And I just found it fun at first, boring later on. Because it's just jump up, climb, jump across, climb, jump across, climb, jump over a monkey bar, double dash, jump over another monkey bar, double dash, start climbing up. And you just do that over and over again on a lot of the levels. And if you fall down, it ports you all the way back and you got to do it all over again. I like it as a feature, but I felt they overused it. Just my opinion, I felt they overdone it. I've already talked about the mass spawning in certain locations. I've already talked about cutscene work could have been done better to explain a little bit more about the Doom guy. And I've already spoken about the multiplayer aspect. So that's pretty much everything that I've written down. Throughout the entire game, we've talked about graphics and audio, we've talked about texturing, model design, gameplay mechanics, replayability, game difficulty. We talked about stats building, we talked about the story, online, and we also talked about the prices and the microtransactions. I would go into a little bit more detail with what they've got to offer in the store, but every single time I try to refresh it, it's just doing this. It's doing that, and it's not even loading up the item in the store. Because I wanted to know what exactly they're charging 80 quid for. Or even that, what sort of extras are available. But like I said, it's at the moment, everything seems to just be crashing. Dude. See, if someone wanted to go buy this right now, and they're getting hit with this bug right now, they can't buy the game. They're sitting there going, I want to give you my money, but you won't let me give you my money. I want to throw money at you, Microsoft. Let me give you money. And they're like, yeah, no. Because that's all it's doing. And then it goes to a grey screen. Try it. Please try again later. So, GG. GG. So, now the final breakdown and the scoring. Overall, am I satisfied with this game? Let's see, look at that. Please try again. Page could not be loaded. Fix your shit. The game did keep me thoroughly entertained from start to finish. The game did get tedious with some of the levels, with the jumping and the dashing in the air and the parkouring and the climbing, and it did. It really did. And that's just my opinion. And the enemy overwhelming thing is it's crazy. It's nuts. And some people said, well, it's Doom. It's supposed to be like that. Yeah, but it worked with Doom 2016 for me, and I never had a problem with that. Not a single problem. But in this game, I got cornered all the time and barraged by enemies. It was just insane. And when they squeeze you into a corner, you can't jump out. They're gonna kill you and take all your lives away, and that's it. You'll die, then you'll respawn, and you have to do it all again. So, yes, the game kept me thoroughly entertained, but the game didn't give me what I was looking for in a Doom sequel. It gave me carnage, it gave me mayhem, blood and gore, violence, and I love that in a Doom game, don't get me wrong. But ultimately, though, it just didn't feel the spaces that I wanted. I wanted more videos played in the game, so cinematics. I wanted more backstory in the cinematics. I wanted more multiplayer modes to play once the story is done, instead of that 2v1 skirmish battle mode that they have. I wanted to play with friends in the multiplayer modes as well, but they didn't give us any of that. It was basically just the battlegrounds. You beat two demons and that was it. So, bottom line is we come down to a scoring. Ultimately, this is my opinion. Just bear that in mind. This is just my opinion. But I wanted this game to do a little bit more for me. So, With that in mind, and with how disappointed I am with the multiplayer aspects and the modes that they've got available, I did say if the multiplayer modes were great, I would, keep the scoring what I had in my mind. But what they've got available just wasn't for me. It wasn't for me at all. So with that in mind, I'm happy giving Doom Eternal a ending score of 8.5 out of 10. My opinion, nothing more. Take it how you want, but I hope this breakdown review has given you a great amount of information to help with your purchase choice, whether you are indecisive about buying the game itself. And ultimately, that's why I do these review breakdowns. I've tried to keep it spoiler free for you guys. And yeah, like I said, I really hope this review helps with the decision that you have to make around buying the game. If you haven't yet played Doom 2016, I would highly recommend it, because that game is phenomenal. And it even has its awesome retro hidden levels in it as well, which this game didn't have. That would have been nice to have those as well in this one too, wouldn't it? Just some little zones, retro zones, just to give you some nice flashbacks of the old school Doom. Just my opinion. But yeah, 8.5 out of 10 and review.